We make clear very emphatically that the traditional U.S. prioritization of diplomatic engagement and cooperative measures with our strategic adversaries is no longer viable as a route to strategic stability. Presidents Putin and Xi specifically show little sign of actually wanting strategic stability and indeed seem to view instability as being critical to their own global ambitions. So, through that prism, it clearly means that our traditional approach, which prizes that cooperative way to get to stability, has failed and may now, in fact, be dangerous. And as we say in the report, the U.S. strategy for stability since the Cold War is no longer applicable to the emerging security environment. And I'll quote again, U.S. attempts to reduce the role of nuclear weapons in its security strategy have been ignored and, in fact, exploited. Washington's calls for substantive, sustained, and high-level dialogue on strategic stability with both Moscow and Beijing have gone largely unheeded. And that's a full quote. So this clearly signals that our traditional strategy has failed to achieve its purposes in reorienting failing to reorient ourselves to these new threats. We in the U.S. have been, quote, negligent in preserving and adapting a strong nuclear deterrent. Those are strong words that you do not usually see in bipartisan unanimous reports. And I wanted to flag them because I like being a little punchier here, and these guys are more diplomatic than I am these days. So I wanted to flag this, and we make a big point that there is no going back to the legacy approach, right? We say that the effort to cooperate with Russia and China to identify and safeguard shared interests in strategic stability has come to naught, a situation that cannot be expected to change soon. Now, so in that sense, I think the main lesson is that it is time from the report, that it's time for us to abandon what I myself would describe, although the report is much too decorous to use these terms, as the timid moralism and optimistic naivety of a conventional wisdom in strategic thinking that developed in a global environment quite unlike the one that we now face. Our leadership by example, the report does say, has failed, and we need to rethink our unilateral restraint, because Moscow and Beijing are already racing in a new arms race, and in response to that, we need to go forward in a new approach.